Hi and welcome to this tutorial to build your painting skills. In this session we will use rendering with different basic shapes and some basic value mixing to create an ice cream cone. This task should take you about 45 minutes to complete. We will work about 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters square. One quick way to create a square is to take the corner of your page and extend it to the edge without creasing it. For simplicity's sake, I will mark out 20 centimeters in my sketchbook. I'll also add a vertical line in the center since our composition is symmetrical. I have three types of brushes: a round brush, a flat brush, which I tend to use mostly, and a filbert brush, which has curved bristles. On our palette, we will need white, cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, cadmium red, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and black. Note, we do not need large amounts as the painting is small. I also have a cup of water to rinse my brush and a paper towel. I'll be using a number 5 round brush to render or sketch out the object. Place some water on your palette to dilute the yellow ochre. I place these 2 tick marks to mark out the length of the ice cream cone. I add this third one to mark the bottom for the ice cream scoop. I'm measuring the ice cream scoop so I can create a square. You can eyeball or guesstimate this if easier. So I create my square. This will help me draw a circle more accurately, as I just have to then round out the corners. I also place 2 marks to help create my ellipse. I then extend the diagonals of the cone to the bottom point I made earlier. Next, create your circle. I'll take some white with a touch of ochre and some ultramarine blue. I'll also add some yellow. You may need to experiment with this a bit to your liking. The only thing to keep in mind is to not make it too dark, as we will need to apply a darker value later on. Test out the color on the blank area of your page. Paint the ice cream scoop when ready. While we let the scoop dry, let's take more ochre and paint the entire cone. Add a second coat if required. Take some burnt sienna with some blue to create a dark brown tone. We'll use this to create some chocolate topping on the scoop of the ice cream. Paint it as I do. Leave a curved section on top for the placement of a cherry. Add additional coats if required. For the cherry, take the red with some burnt sienna. Add some blue to the red to create a darker tone and apply it to the left side of the cherry to create a shadow area. Let's go back to our turquoise ice cream scoop. Add a touch of black to create a darker tone. Apply it to the scoop to create shadows and to give it a 3D form. I then create one more darker tone to apply sparingly. Now let's go back and apply some berry tones to the cone. Add burnt sienna to the ochre to create a darker tone. Apply it to the left side and underneath the scoop. Apply a second coat if required. You can also create some darker tones to apply for the darkest areas. Add some white to the color to create some variety and to show the highlighted area. Add white to the ochre to continue building this. I go back and forth playing with the highlights and the dark shadows. Let's move on to the background, which we will paint a hue of purple. Take a generous amount of white, a touch of blue, and a touch of red. Do this in small amounts. It's easier to add than to take away later. Experiment with your ratios to your taste. Apply the color starting with the edge of the cone. Use this opportunity to clean up the edge. Continue going around the remaining edges. Note, I rotate my brush using the flat edge to assist me. Paint the remaining background. I need to make more color as I've run out. Take white to apply the reflective highlights. I'll also use the remaining colors to apply some sprinkles to the top. If we reflect on our painting, what might we do better next time? I'm generally pleased, but if I were to do it again, I would probably take a little more care around the left edge of the scoop while painting the background. Maybe some pure white on this highlighted area would also help. I hope this has helped you develop rendering skills and some color mixing to apply value to an artwork. Be sure to check out some of the other videos to continue building your skills. Painting takes time and practice. Don't give up. Lastly, just a shout out to Mark Daniel Nelson, as this activity was adapted from his book.